Today, we are pleased to have Eva Marsh of Side Road Press back in the studio with us. Eva Marsh is the author of Black Patent Shoes, Dancing with MS. Eva has lived with the reality of multiple sclerosis since she was 8 years old and diagnosed back in 1967. Over the past 40 years, Eva has spoken to many audiences worldwide about her life experience and recovery from the damage of MS. Welcome, Eva.
Good morning, Marie.
Eva, what led you to write your book?
I wanted to share my experience of recovery with as many people as possible, Marie.
Okay, now what was your reaction back in 1967 to the diagnosis that you had MS?
Well, I was told that I could never recover and that I should get my affairs in order because I didn't have long. And I thought that was ridiculous because it was 1967. We weren't in the Middle Ages. And so I started reading research. And over the years, I have found extraordinary material in research that has enabled me to explain my recovery.
Okay, now you've taken a lot of university level courses too to qualify that research as well, haven't you?
Yes, I have, Marie. I started with a degree in physics so that I could understand what was happening at the quantum level, or the very basic level of energy in the body or in the universe. And then I continued with a master's degree in electrical engineering so that I could understand communication networks, such as the network in the nervous system. I then continued and took courses in coaching and neurolinguistic programming, which is understanding the power of our thoughts and words to affect us physically.
Now, one of the things I've heard you mention before is you're talking about looking at research in the context of history. Explain that, please.
Thank you, Marie. Yes, I found in covering research that it was very important to understand the history of the time. For example, 200 years or so ago, the symptoms that we now call multiple sclerosis were referred to as hysterical paralysis. And that's because at that time, the medical system could only explain a fast recovery as hysteria. The people who could afford care and treatment declined rapidly, and the treatment was mercury, arsenic, and a little bloodletting.
Oh dear.
Now the poor people who recovered, they had to get back to work because, again, in that time, if you didn't work, you didn't eat.
Exactly, exactly. And that would be so devastating for people in that day and age, and the life expectancy at that time too, once you were diagnosed, was very short, wasn't it?
Yes, yes. Sadly, we continue to say that MS that we can expect to decline progressively with MS, even in the 21st century.
Yeah, exactly. I know I've talked to people that have said, talked about friends who've been diagnosed with MS, and they talk about it like it's a death sentence. So obviously, you're here to dispel that whole thought on MS.
Yes, I am, Marie. That's my focus in life. That's all that I do. I speak, I give speeches, I do daily workshops where I share all of this research and information with people about how I recovered. And I also coach people.
Excellent.
And encourage them and assist them in their recovery process. I'm also in touch with people around the world, of course, through the miracle of the internet and email, and that's a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Now, do you find that people are resistant to what you tell them?
Some are, Marie, and some are just ready to hear something different that offers real hope. So I deal with people as they come to me.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so now what else have you done since you've written your book? Do you have something in the works now?
Yes, I'm finishing a second book, which will be about the recovery process, the movements, and the research that explains the plasticity of the nervous system and how with every move we're changing the nervous system. And so that explains then why being positive and just doing any kind of physical movement is very beneficial to the nervous system and the whole body.
Excellent, excellent. And there's a lot of research even locally that is happening to help people to regain their mobility as well.
Yes, we're lucky to have right here in town McMaster University, and there's terrific research programs both in neurosciences and also in kinesiology.
Okay, that's great. And actually one of our next guests coming up on the show is actually Karen Police from Step Up for Research.
Wonderful.
So it's wonderful timing that you've come in today.
Thank you, Marie.
Okay, that's great. So thank you very much for coming into the studio today, Eva.
Thank you, Marie.
You can learn more about Eva Marsh, her research, purchase her book, or contact her to speak through your group through her website at evamarsh.net.